Okay, here's one more example of how easy it is to attach sources from Family Search to people in our family tree. And again, I'm going to use the record hints, and the blue icons here tell me that there are some possible record hints for these individuals. This again is Family Search doing the work for me. It's taken the information from Family Tree, put it in its search engine, and now it's saying that it thinks that these records are possibly belonging to these individuals. And I'm actually going to, let's expand out this particular line. We're kind of going descendancy here, looking at the children of Edward Cutler and Sarah Ann Parker. And right now I have, here is a Jane Ellison. And if I click on this research suggestion, it's telling me that there are no sources attached to her. That means that no one has put in something that proves that she should actually be here in the tree and that she is married to Alexander Cutler. But I also have, next to no sources, some sources or possible sources. And when I click on record hints, I see that Family Search is thinking that these people, that these records belong to her. The 1871, 1881, and 1901 England and Wales census. So let's click on her summary card again to confirm that she has no sources, and she doesn't. It says 0 here. And let's go ahead and go to her person page, and we'll work off of her person page. So I clicked person. Here's her person page. And if I scroll down, I can see that she has been put in the tree as married to Alexander Cutler. They have a couple of children, and she is connected to a John Ellison and a Mary Ann Butterworth as her parents, with possibly these being her brothers and sisters. But again, since there are no sources here, I can't be 100% sure that this information is accurate, so let's attach some sources and prove that it is. Right here for the record hints, I'm only seeing 3. Again, partly because the research suggestions are also here and they just kind of limit the space. Let's go ahead and click Show Details so that we see all possible record hints, not just those 3. But that's all that are here. So Family Search has only found these 3 possible sources. And looking here, I can see some basic information to determine whether or not I feel like this could be her. Let's start. I like to start with the ones closest to the person's birth. So that would be for her. Looks like she was born about 1870. So this would be the 1871 census. And here, in general, I can see that her father is John Ellison and her mother is a Mary Ann. And so let's go ahead and review and attach this source. So up comes the source linker. And again, when the source linker comes up, on the left-hand side are all of the names in that source or in that record. So it's reminding me this is the England and Wales 1871 census. And so I can see that it is working to match up these people to people who are already in Family Tree. The focus person of the source linker is Jane Ellison right here, and we could change that if we needed to. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'd like to actually look at the source before I attach it. So I'm going to click up here on the image. And it takes me to an actual digital image of the 1871 England and Wales census. And I can see some cool things here. Here's their family, John Ellison, who is the head of household. And I can see where he was born. It looks like it says Rishton, Lancashire. Wife Mary Ann, son William, son Thomas. Here is Jane, born in Blackburn. And then there is a lodger there, Thomas Butterworth, who is a widower, and where he's born. And because we think that Mary Ann is Butterworth, that kind of fits right together. So this looks like a match for me. I'm going to go ahead and close the image so I get back to the source linker. And now I'm just going to attach the source. So I'm going to start with Jane. I'm going to click Attach. I'm going to add to the other information that she was living in Blackburn in 1871 and click Attach. And let's do the same thing for everyone else here. Notice how when it gets attached, it turns green. If I make a mistake and I realize this is the wrong person, I can always detach the source. But this is, I'm pretty sure, the right person. So let's go ahead and attach to John. Now, this is a little different birth location than what's in Family Tree, so that might be something I'd want to go back and change, but I'd also want to do a little more research. Attach to Marianne. And we'll attach to the two brothers, William and Thomas. Okay, everything's attached, and now Jane Elison has a source on her person page. So let's go, if we go back up here where her name is, a link, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It's going to take me back to her person page, and let's look at the next source. Okay, so the next source is the 1881 census. I'm going to go ahead and click on that just to kind of see a look at it. Looks right. John, Marianne, William, Thomas, Jane. It looks like there's another child in there. And let's go ahead and click Review and Attach. It's going to again bring up the source linker. It's going to list the names that are in that source on the left-hand side, and it's going to match those names up with people already in Family Tree on the right-hand side. And it's a little slow this morning. That's okay. So let's go ahead and if I could view it, I would view the record. But notice there is no image here. I am not going to be able to view this record from here. However, let's try something. I'm going to click View Record. That's not going to take me where I want to go. Forget that. Let's go back here to this record. Go to the record. That view record only gave me the index. So here is another index. This would be in just through the search part of Family Search. And no, there's no way for me to see this. There's no link to an outside source or anything for me to see this record, unfortunately. So that's all right. Let's go ahead and let's attach it. I could probably see it in Ancestry, and maybe we'll take a look at that in a future video. So again, the names on the left-hand side, the people in Family Tree on the right-hand side, and as soon as Family Tree works for me, there we go. Oh, and it did something really weird, and it has matched it completely up with an entirely different family. That is bizarre. Okay, completely different family. So there was a little bit of a hiccup there at Family Tree. So I'm going to go, we need to get back. So let's try this all over again. I'm going to go ahead and click Person from Family Tree menu. Not really sure why that happened, but there are these little quirks. And by clicking on Person, it took me back to the last view I had in the Person page, which was Jane. And now let's try this all over again. I'm going to go with Show Details just because that will make it easier. 1881 England Census, Review and Attach. Again, the names in the 1881 census on the left, and on the right-hand side it should be matching up with Family Tree hopefully correctly this time, and it did. And let's go ahead and quickly attach all of these. So again, I'm clicking Attach, add the information, and attach. And it's as simple as that. Okay, and again, William is still in this census record. We'll attach the source to him. We'll attach the source to Thomas. And so what I'm doing is I'm proving not only that these individuals that we see in Family Tree existed, but that these relationships that are also shown in Family Tree are correct. Okay, and John James was there. All right, so we've now attached this source. Let's go back to Jane Elison's person page. And the next record hint is the 1901 England and Wales census. So let's go ahead and click on that. And here she is married. She's married but living with her family still. So that's kind of helpful to help know. Looks like it was indexed incorrectly. It was indexed as Cutter instead of Cutler. And this one I can actually go view at an outside source. So let's go view that record. This is going to take me to find my past, and it's going to allow me to view the 1901 census. So we'll just give it a minute to load. And then once it's loaded, we'll go ahead and just verify the information. We'll see if it really looks like Cutter or Cutler. And then we'll attach the source. It's still processing. It's getting there. Still waiting. And so what we're going to be looking for, I'm going to go ahead and get this started over here for reviewing and attaching while it's processing over here. And again, it looks like the source has already been attached to a couple of people, but maybe not to everyone. So it's matching everybody up. And here is the actual census row. It's still not there. Let's try a refresh and see if we can't get it to load. And if not, oh, there it is. Okay, so here is the census record. John Elison, Marianne, Anthony, Elizabeth Alice, Alexander Cutler, who is listed as a son-in-law. And it does, to me, that looks like Cutler. It just got indexed wrong. The cross of the T is coming over. And then, of course, Jane. And that is, now here everybody's listed as Blackburn. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so let's go back and quickly link the source. So I'm adding where they're living in 1901. Giving each of these people a link to this source on their person page quickly. And again, these two children, somebody had already attached the source to them. So let's go back to her person page now that we've attached that source. And so now we won't have any record hints here for now. It may still process and come up with record hints in the future. It's always working. And right here, if I click on sources, now I see those 3 census records, and I can put them in any order I want just by grabbing and dragging the sources. So I'm going to do that really quick. So 71, 81, be great if I could come up with the 1891 and of course the 1911 census records. And I could possibly do that using search records through a different site.